is this pandemic has allowed us to step back and kind of see things in a way where it's blank. And
Mm.
I don't mean blank na zero or olats na siya, but I mean blank in a way that everything can be restarted. So
Mm.
franchises are also struggling right now. Hey guys, welcome back to the Leadership Stack Podcast, the podcast for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs to increase your leadership, teamwork, and profits. This is your host, Sean C., aka Mr. CEO at 22. Hey guys, welcome to another Leadership Stack live session. Tonight I have a co-host with me. Her name is JM Dela Rama, and she is going to join us in answering some of your questions about leadership, entrepreneurship, and management. JM, thank you for being here on the show tonight.
Yes, thank you so much, Sean, for having me here. So, hello to you and to everyone in your community. Hi, guys. How are you all doing?
Guys, if you didn't know, JM has her own website, seasonswithmissjm.com, and she is also being licensed, or is it has it been granted already, the license,
It's actually a certification
the
for
certifications? Or
yes, for
yeah.
life and grief coaching. So I am presently finishing my graduation requirements, and then after that my certification requirements as well for ICF. So it's under International Coaching Federation.
We have quite a good number of questions, so I will dive into it. First question would be from Erica, and she asks, what are the pros and cons of investing in a franchise? First, if you're going to invest in a franchise, you're going to need money up front. So that is a con. Because if you're going to be starting up on your own, you don't need to give upfront money, which might be a big amount depending on what brand you want to franchise. If it's already a big, well known franchise chain, of course, you're going to need to pony up more cash upfront. The big pro of buying a franchise is you already have the system, you already have the brand name. All you got to do is apply everything, and it's quite proven to work. So your risk of losing a business or having your business failing is a lot lower. The risk is a lot lower. That is the big pro. Another con is there are restrictions, of course. It's not your own brand and it's not your own business. It's a franchise, so you can't do pretty much anything or everything you want to do in it. You have to be agreeable to be under the authority of the brand. That for me is a con, but it depends on the person. Some people will find it a pro because they're just following the parameters or the guidelines. Some people will see it as a con. I personally see it as a con because I am the kind of person who I'm excited to set the direction and pace for the business. And yeah, I think those are the major pros and cons for me. I'm not going to make it long. What do you think, JM?
I think I can just share based on experience. I haven't had experience with franchising yet, but right now I'm currently helping my brother with their startup business. So thinking about starting a business as well, I think with franchise, that one of the pros is that you'll be able to already like skip the most crucial thing, and that is planning everything from scratch. So I think that's one of the pros when it comes to franchise, but the rest you already mentioned with the cons. And if you're someone who's really into the creative side as well, you get some like kind of fulfillment as well when it comes to starting your business from scratch. So as you mentioned earlier, also it's very fulfilling for you, like knowing the direction where you want to go, right? And I think you mentioned it very well with the pros and cons of franchise. So in short, Sean, are you going to try a franchise business? Or for you, you're really just into starting a business from scratch?
Probably not gonna go with the franchise route. So it would depend eh. Kasi like if you're a business guy or a business person who really enjoys starting up businesses and who really enjoys doing it, I'm
Mhm.
a really good starter. For me, that's something that I like doing. Management or maintenance is not my forte. More of starting up something new, innovating, being a visionary. There are people who are really good in managing and making
Right.
things grow little by little, and then there are people who are really good with the emotional side of things, dealing
Mm-hmm.
with relationships and making people feel like they are a part of something big in their family. There's different kinds of leaders, different kinds of ways in doing things. For me, I am a starter kind, a visionary kind, and if ever I'm gonna do a franchise, it would be because I want to invest my money somewhere that's not that risky. That
Right.
would probably be the reason why, not because I want another business. If I want another business, I would start one. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's what I think I would do. How about you? Would you, invest in one?
You know what? I had an opportunity during the pandemic to choose this franchise business, but I said to myself and to that friend that I'm not really into this kind of business. So I still want to also like start things from scratch and see where it's going to go. So I really need that like freedom in terms of work or business as well.
Right, right. So same here, same boat. We have a follow-up question from Erica. Should I buy a franchise or start my own business? Well, I guess the short answer to that is based on what I mentioned earlier. Weigh the pros and cons for you, because if you're not gonna enjoy being under certain parameters that you can't wiggle out of, because that's going to void the franchise contract and sayang naman yung binayad mo, then don't start a franchise. But if you're the type of person who wants to minimize risk, kahit na yung upside di ganun ka laki and you have to wait a long time, but the risk is low because you know that it's gonna work and you're gonna get your ROI 3 to 5 years from now, then I don't see why not.
And parang the question also that I've been thinking about right now, since we're talking about franchise as a business, what is the wisest decision to make during a pandemic when it comes to starting a business? Parang yun nga, di ba? Should you choose a franchise business since everything is already there? Or should you start with something talaga na hindi franchise as your first business? So parang I'm just having those thoughts as well while reading the questions of Erica.
For me, ang opinion ko about that, no, is this pandemic has allowed us to step back and kind of see things in a way where it's blank. And
Mm.
I don't mean blank na zero or olats na siya, but I mean blank in a way that everything can be restarted. So
Mm.
franchises are also struggling right now. I know that Jollibee, Max's, all of the food businesses are struggling, and
Yeah.
hospitals are also struggling because now yung mga tao na nagpapa-check up, hindi na silang papa-check up kasi risky pumunta sa hospital. So they have a lot of COVID patients, right? Because they kind of don't have a choice, right? But to already check in the hospital if they're feeling really bad. But everything's at a reset point. That's my
Yeah.
opinion. So even the franchises, they're at the reset point. So if you can franchise a business or a brand that's really killing it, they're really making a lot of money, that'd be great. But a lot of those businesses are actually startups now. They're
Right.
actually e-commerce startups, mom and pop shops that have started digitizing their products or services,
Mhm.
and they're not yet allowing their business to be franchised.
That your purpose of your company, especially as an entrepreneur, has to overlap with your purpose as an individual. A lot of entrepreneurs will do a business and then say, well, once I succeed, then I'll give money to a charity. And what that means is that you've divided your activity, if you will, into two. There's the day job and there's the side hustle. And your side hustle is what you're passionate about. I want to be able to give money to this charity or to a church or whatever it is. And I don't care how I get the money, but that's what counts, is giving money to the church. But there's a gap, and that gap is costly.